Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great Vera question, and that is, do I confront the psychopath that I think that they are a psychopath? I would say unequivocally no. Don't make that your burden. Do not challenge the psychopath. Don't think you can get into a battle of wits, a battle of wills. Start having a normal discussion tit for tat. It does not end well. It does not work out. In fact, if anything, if you try to sort of go with that regular approach with a psychopath, to them, I feel that they interpret it that they still have you under their guise of control. They are still manipulating you. They are overpowering you from your ability to think for yourself. And so, in other words, but don't hide, don't shriek away from standing up or just speaking your truth. In other words, some people will then give in. They're afraid to look rude. They're afraid to appear impolite. They're afraid that they won't look good, so they will just sort of not call them out or not speak up. You must really have a sense of neutrality, non-judgment, and indifference, a very objective viewpoint, which means you are divorced from the subjective. This is when you're trying, if for people who are still who are in the midst of dealing with a psychopath, in other words, you are in communication with them. They are at your workplace. They're in your marriage. They're in your family. They're in your community, wherever it is that this individual is. You have to really begin to look at them at a perspective that is very divorced from, your feelings. You have to communicate, be very objective and neutral and indifferent. And don't be overly polite. This is just what they want you to do. Oh, I'm too afraid to say anything. Oh, I'm too afraid to do anything. Oh, I'm too afraid to call them out because it'll get ugly. I mean, this is what they're banking on, and they will get away with it again and again. I mean, a show of hands, how many people have allowed themselves to be waffled over, taken advantage of by this type of individual and been outsmarted, outwitted, taken for a ride, taken to the cleaners, whatever it is, because you did not stand up for yourself. You did not make mention when you should have. You should, you caught, maybe I should, but you never did. So this is what they are hoping that they go unquestioned. I mean, this is something that you can, I think, oftentimes feel. If you're in the presence of a psychopath, they might even say, don't question me, but if you are around them enough, there is enough pressure where they are to go unquestioned. They cannot have a objective communication, oftentimes because they are living in a pathological lying state. And as the viewer so aptly stated before, they lie all day and every day just because they can get away with it. And do they get a dopamine hit? I mean, to them, I think it's just like they're just telling themselves, I'm the greatest, look what I just got away with. I'm the greatest, and they just keep it up. They just, and they use that thrill, the excitement, the adrenaline, whatever it is, to keep people sort of in that feeling that this is the way to be, that you coming to your senses is no way to live, that you are too boring, you're too dumb, you're not fast enough. The old nudge. I mean, that what you say is stupid. You're bringing up a comment and then they're rolling their eyes at you or giving other people can you believe this pile of crap? And then they're pointing at you, but they're really just sort of, and as if you're not going to acknowledge and see that they're kicking people under the table, elbowing people, whispering, as if you cannot hear it. I mean, it's just, they expect you to be too afraid to call them out. I mean, it gets so immature. Own your truth. It is difficult. It is painful. It is absurd. You can ask, why me? Why did this happen? I can't believe that this is happening. You can live in disbelief. You can live in fear. I mean, but you're not setting yourself up for healing and for results. You have to understand that this, that this is what they do. And then, yes, stand up for yourself. Do not tolerate it. Do not be around these people. Do not submit yourself to third-degree emotional burns. Do not do it. Put your foot on put your foot on the pause button before you launch out into a tirade, and realize that you have the ability of free will, and you also have the ability to think. For a lot of people who have been in a relationship with someone who is manipulative, like a psychopath, like a bully, like someone who has deceived you, who has no conscience, who has no morality and no empathy and no love, they have only sort of an agenda and rage. So for a lot of people, standing up for yourself might be a first time thing. This might not have been done in a long period of time. You might be squeaky in the voice. You might be trembly in the knees. You might be butterflies in the gut. You might be having a hard swallow. This might be a time for you to face your fears, or to have what is known as good old-fashioned courage, a quality that never goes out of style. If you have your courage on, you are in the present. Come to the present moment. It is okay. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise than to dim your greatness, to dim your light, to put a lampshade over it. People will put a lampshade over you all day long if they can help it, or if that's what they want. They don't want you to do the gut check. They don't want you to see them. They want to be a distraction. They want what they want at all costs. They don't care what they have to do to get it. They are like your good old-fashioned steamroller. They are your emotional steamroller. They'll try to make 2 dimensions or 1 dimension out of you, your emotions, your perspective, as if you do not exist. They just will try to plow over you. And it's just kind of like, I remember one of my clients, this was many decades ago, and she was in the grocery checkout, lane, and this person was kind of a bully and kind of pushy while she's sort of counting her money and just treating her as if she did not matter. And she turned to him and she just said, "Excuse me, but I'm in this world too." In other words, I am here. I'm trying to pay, I am here doing my function, and you have to give me that. It's just, have you ever felt that way? You're at the grocery store and someone is just trying to basically push you out of the way. You're still there trying to get your groceries. You're still trying to count your change. You can just feel them basically trying to push their basket cart right over your feet. I mean, you literally can almost feel it. Like you're like, hold on a second. I'm going as fast as I can for you. I mean, they just don't even give you the right to your existence. It's really a shame. And they will use brainwashing and gaslighting to negate you. To negate means to make you null and void. I mean, this is not funny. This is real deep stuff. So pay attention. Pay attention to your needs, your truth, and have the courage. Do not challenge them. Do not fall for their call to fight, their call to arms, their call to start the battle. I mean, this is what they are addicted to. A psychopath who's into rage, they are addicted to the fight, the hostility, that sort of quick, rapid fire igniting of passion or inflamed. I mean, it's just, they become animal-like. And that's also, it's really interesting because that's exactly what they're talking about in this book, Emotional Vampires. And so if they can become animal-like, meaning, that primitive sort of aggressive side, maybe, that they will then create and ignite that like energy in you. So you don't want to become a mirror energetically of them. You don't need to become a counterforce to that force. You have your own power. That is your ability to step back out of their range of their toxicity and that brainwashing, gaslighting, all that negative hysteria or what have you. And don't challenge them, but clarify within. Clarify within. Clarify within so you know very clearly what is going on. Get your emotional toes back. I mean, stop from being brandished over by their emotional overbearing ways. And to call them out is an exercise of futility. Who needs to know? You need to know. To correct them is not your job. You will only waste your time. Unfortunately, that is the bottom line. You can challenge that within yourself, and you can challenge that within yourself, but you kind of sometimes have to understand that things are where they're at and they will not change with this person. So you don't need to teach them a lesson. You don't need to help them with their evolution. You don't have to teach them about empathy. You don't have to teach them about fairness. You have to really just protect and engage in self-care for yourself. Period. And those who you love and those who you care about. Period. End of story. And that's really all you can do. You can hammer out warning, and that's about it. What was that, church song? You can hammer out love. You can hammer out warning to your brothers and your sisters. I mean, you can ring, the bear bell or what have you. I mean, that's really all you can do. This is your buddy, but for your ears only, so that you know and that you aren't taken advantage of in the future. More on this later. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony. I hope these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and for goodness sake, please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace in, peace out, peace be with you, and have a beautiful day. Stand up straight and hold your head up straight. It'll help your energy.